Hello everyone, welcome back to the shed, and of course by the title you can tell this is Hornby's generic coaches in SDJR livery. So let's get these out of the box. I'm going to take the time to record getting these out of the box because I need to preface this with a story. I pre-ordered these a number of months ago. These boxes are tight as ever, fuck's sake Hornby. I pre-ordered these a number of months ago when they first announced them. So we're talking probably 2022 I pre-ordered these. And I pre-ordered them in good faith, thinking they'd be along fairly promptly. They weren't, they've just released, they just arrived. These are all four of them. Now I pre-ordered these directly through Hornby, and that is the biggest mistake I've ever made, and I'm willing to admit it. Because what they've actually done is in dispatching these, because they don't dispatch them themselves anymore I believe. What they did do was dispatch these individually. Oh, that's fallen out, great. They dispatched these individually in a different box for each coach. So I ended up with 4 parcels for 4 coaches, and I got charged £4 for each parcel. So instead of being charged a nice one-time amount of £4 for a prompt DPD delivery, I instead got charged £16 for 2 separate deliveries, because they came, 2 coaches came at the same time. These 2 I just unboxed and this other pair arrived today. This is why I didn't make the video last week, because not all of them were here, and the bank holiday weekend decided to throw a spanner in the works and delay this like hell. So instead of just arriving promptly on Monday, it is now Wednesday, when they were dispatched last Friday. It's safe to say I'm not going to be pre-ordering anything directly through Hornby anymore, and to be honest this is probably going to be the last Hornby product I do purchase, or I at least hope to purchase first hand in any capacity. The only thing that could possibly tempt me is the malachite liveried Lord Nelson. That is it, I believe. It's the only thing you could get me with. I am, I should say this, a collector of Somerset and Dorset joint railway stuff, and this won't be a complete rake because I actually have a 5th coach for this, but it's in kit form. It's a milk van which needs to be built, painted, decaled up for this. So what have we actually got here? We've got a 4-wheeler full brake, we've got a 3rd composite brake 6-wheeler, we've got a 3rd 6-wheeler, and we've got a 1st class 6-wheeler. So let's have a look at them. So here we have the full brake. It's very nice. The lining is very nice. The gold lining, that is. It's actually gold. It's not yellow, as they've tried to fob off in the past. I'll show that later on the 2P. Very nice. That lovely deep Prussian blue livery. So I will put this as the front of the train. Next we have the 3rd composite brake 6-wheeler. There we are. Lovely dark livery. Again, that gold lining, absolutely fantastic. The lettering is great. It's got some of that nice shading to it. The wheels are nice and free rolling. It's got some weight to it, but it's not overly heavy. And it looks quite smart, so let's get that one on the track. That does not plonk on very easily due to that sort of free moving middle wheel. Can we see that? Yeah. So do be careful of that when you're putting it on the track, otherwise you might have one wheel not on. Okay, so that's the other end of the train due to it being a brake. What have we got now? We've got the first class. As you can tell, very bloody similar in a lot of cases because, well, they're generics. Very smart, same middle wheel action. I must say I'm sorry about the exposure on this because fly netting has been put in the doorway now. You can see that it's very free, it's not sprung in any way, unlike the Hatton's generics, which I have one of. I would look at getting more, but it depends on what liveries they will do in the future. From what I've heard, the liveries I'm interested in, thank Christ. And the third class 6-wheeler. Again, very smart. You've got seating inside, much like the others. Again, that lining, very nice. Let's see, can I actually read? You can actually read Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway on the crest there. It's very tiny, but I assure you, you can read that if your eyesight is good enough. A gold lining again, very nice. And they're all perfectly fine. Plonk it on the track. So, first time try, lovely. Right, so let's plonk this here. I'll take the camera off the tripod so we can have a look at the full train as it's joined up. So nice and close up, we can see it looks very smart. I feel like having a 4-wheeler full brake is a bit of a letdown considering these are 6-wheelers. It just makes it look a bit out of proportion maybe, especially with those very fat ducats on the end. These 6-wheelers though, very, very smart. And very, very nice. I wonder if I can actually zoom in now. I think you can just about see that says Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway on the crest. It is legible though, that is impressive. Yeah, I can't find much fault with those. They are generic coaches in SDJR livery. The Prussian blue seems fairly accurate, as I can compare it to 2 of the locos right now. We head over to the left. I'm going to run these today with the Hornby 2P and the Bachmann 1P. I do have other SDJR locos. I have a Bachmann 3F, Bachmann 4F and a Bachmann 7F, all in Prussian blue. These 2 and the other 3 are all sound fitted, but I'm not going to be running them with sound today, so you can just hear sort of the amount of clickety-clack and noise you're going to get from when you're running these on the layout. I figured I should run these 2 because some are going to be collectors and I think the 1P suits these coaches the most. However, the most commonly available out of these locos is the 2P, and I think Hornby are doing a new, well, not another run I suppose, but they're doing another SDJR 2P to come. So that's going to be readily available to a lot of people, so I think this is the best bet for running it with these coaches. As I pointed out, and I will move the coaches into view, this is the difference between Hornby's lining. Here we have actual gold lining and here we have viciously yellow, which I do not believe is accurate, and then you compare it to Bachmann's example with that actual gold coloured lining. Looks superb. This looks quite cheap unfortunately, but it'll do. It will do. So let's get some footage of these coaches going around the layout. So, those are the SDJR generic coaches by Hornby. They're very nice. They live up to the standard that the generics have already set. The middle wheel I was talking about, where it's free sliding, it's not an issue over any of the point work or any of the track work we have on the layout. The only thing to watch is when you're putting it on the track, make sure it's centered, make sure it's actually on the rail. The train as a whole looks very smart. It's very turn of the century, so this does look really good with the 2P or the 1P. I'm not sure how it would look with the 4F, 7F or the 3F, but I imagine it would look just as smart. The shade of blue is slightly different to Hornby's own on the 2P, and it's different to Bachmann's on the 1P, so I'm not sure quite where they've got this shade from, but it's sort of just about right. It's not as bright as Longmore military blue. I'd say it's probably closer to the later Bachmann models of Longmore Military Railway blue. It's not quite deep enough to match Bachmann's Prussian blue, but it's still very nice. The red window frames, I noticed as the train was going around the layout, are very, very smart. They add an extra bit of accent to the whole thing. The printing on it is fantastic. The white roofs really add something extra as well. I'd say that this would probably look, and this is such a weird nitpick, this train does look weird with the 4-wheel full brake. I imagine this would look far better if it was a full 6-wheel coach rake. But that's just a weird preference of mine, I suppose. I'm not sure if anyone else feels the same way. It just looks like the proportions went a bit wrong on the coach, and you go, oh no wait, it's a 4-wheeler, never mind. Would I recommend you get these? Okay, so the price is what were they directly from Hornby? £36.5. We'll call it £37 plus £4 postage per coach. I'm not letting that go. So we're looking at £41 per coach directly from Hornby. If you are a collector of the SDJR, definitely snap them up, grab them while you can. I'm sure Hattons are going to come along with their own generics soon enough in SDJR livery. I believe there was a rumour mill a good long while ago that was going to be part of their third run. So we can hope, we can pray. It would be very nice to have more of these style of coaches. The only other coaches you can really get are kit form coaches. Ones that people may have resprayed themselves from Dapol kits of LMS Suburban stock, and the ones specifically commissioned by, what are they? Footplate Models in Kidderminster. They were commissioned. They commissioned Dapol to make some specifically. They're getting like hen's teeth now. We have 3 of them. We have more custom made bogey stock than actual official run stuff, and to be perfectly honest, the custom stuff looks far better. But I'd say these are perfect to run with your 1P or your small SDJR locos. Especially, I think, since Hornby are making a Railroad 3F, so that would be a nice little loco to run with it, and of course they're doing a 2P, I believe. So yeah, for the price it's quite steep, but if you're an SDJR collector, I recommend you grab these while they're still available. A 4-coach rake does you plenty. The noise going around the layouts, let's talk about that. The noisiest thing on the layout was the coaches. The main thing you were hearing was the coaches. The locos are nice and quiet when they're going around. So I'd say there's quite a bit of noise that could possibly be reduced with some lubrication. That may be something to look at in the future. All the wheels are free rolling, none of the buffers were bent. I happen to have a bent buffer on one of my GNR Great Northern Railway generics when it turned up, so it's good to see the quality control has possibly improved a little. So yes, again, I'm going around in circles, so let's make that concluding point again. If you're an SDJR collector, grab them while you can. If not, maybe you just want a loco and some coaches, sure, why not? They're not any more pricier than any of the other generics, I don't think. So yeah, I'd recommend these if you're an SDJR collector. Is there anything else we can really say about these? There's additional like running plate footsteps in the packaging. I think they might be included with other generics as well. Again, my main complaint with these generics, I haven't said this on the video, I might have actually, is the size of the duckets on the end. It makes the train look really fat for no reason when the actual coaches themselves are quite slim and look the part. I'd say there's a possibility that this whole thing could look better without that full brake, just the six-wheelers. But of course, if you're going to get a full train, you get the full 4 coaches. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you've got any questions about these or questions about the layout, do leave a comment. And I'm not sure what the next pre-order through our letterbox will be, because most of my stuff is pre-orders. Let's think, what is due to release soon? Rapido's 15XX, I suppose, and maybe in the coming months the Caroline Inspection Saloon. I know that's been delayed due to PCB supply issues with who makes that? Revolution? Their factory in China anyway. So anyway, until next time, goodbye.